answer was.
Are we live?
If I built any value.
Are we hot?
We're hot.
Did we tweet it out?
Did we
We
tweet
gotta
it
wait
out?
for the chat.
Yeah, we'll wait till the chat comes in.
Yeah, but you got to do a big post.
So wait till the chat comes in, then I'll do our official introduction, and we'll talk about Dez's collared shirt.
We're on Facebook too right now.
Are we? Are we on Twitter live?
Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch.
The Cowboys just scored.
We're live on video.
We gotta get a TV in here.
No, I think we just scored. We do have a TV coming. Oh shit! Sorry, Doc.
What?
He wanted to surprise everyone. We
Well,
ordered
you
TV.
kind of fucked that one
I did
up.
fuck that one
That's
up.
okay. Did
Well,
we
you know
tweet
what?
it out?
You know what was worried? I mean, he ordered it, and it was our email that were like jointed together, and I was like, we just ordered a TV.
Josh, did you just order a TV?
Yeah, it was better than the hoverboard he just got.
Yeah. Did we?
It's for content though. He's gonna
Oh,
shock
okay.
us with a cow prong and
Do you need a taser?
Yeah,
we
Oh,
may.
Jimmy can hook us up.
Should have brought one.
Yeah, I was gonna steal one from my dad from the city, but we can just use your issued one.
We're good.
All right, we're hot. Are we hot? Y'all ready to go? You want? Are y'all gonna hang up and hang out?
I'm literally
Go.
tweeting it out.
Yo! Oh, you're tweeting that? Go ahead.
Pharaoh!
Go ahead, tweet it out.
I am.
All right, let me know when it's
You
done.
tweeted from yours or
Well,
me?
I mean, for mine.
This Taco Tuesday's not bad.
It's not. It's like a margarita beer.
Margarita style beer, it's okay.
Is this
Oh, am I?
Is this
No, I'll introduce it. I'm just waiting for you to hang up and hang out.
I mean, you could just start off. I'm just gonna tweet out.
Okay.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah. I'm ready.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of Beyond the Diamond Podcast. Brian Lima, Apollo Dez, Astros Future. Jimmy is here. Follow us on Twitter at BLima790, at Apollo Dez1, at Astros Future, and at Apollo HOU. We are here tonight live in the new digs. The new studio is hot. We've got Josh producing. We've got Taylor Pate in the building. And we've got the new guy, Noah. It's Outlaw, right? Noah Outlaw. He's
No
like,
underscore.
what is it? Noah.
Outlaw Noah on Twitter.
Outlaw Noah, he's like 6'9". I don't know why he's even here and why he's not playing basketball somewhere, but he's here. I'm excited to be here. We've got a couple of local brews. We've got Jimmy, who's got nice pipes. We've got Dez. I don't know what Dez is doing dressed like this. None of us are wearing Apollo gear. It's fine. It's okay. There's a lockout going on right now. I'm just happy to be here. Boys, thank you. Jimmy, fine. Nice to finally meet you.
Yeah,
I
man.
can't really talk right now. Dez has got...
Yeah, we're doing the flare now. The
He
Miami
just got
vibes.
the flare.
We're doing the Miami vibes.
Dez, you had what? You had a media appearance for us at Apollo this morning with the college basketball stuff, the NCAA. I saw one shining moment. So that's why Dez is dressed like he just came from an accounting firm. If you guys want an insurance quote, holler at Apollo Dez1 on Twitter. He will hook you up. State Farm. No free ads. I'm sorry.
No
No free
free
ads.
ads.
That's okay. That's okay.
No,
But
today,
boys, really, boys, I'm glad y'all are here. I'm
Today
glad to
I
be here,
laid my
so-
groundwork to run
Okay.
for mayor. Met with Sylvester Turner, shook his hands, kissed some babies, and maybe run for 2023. I don't know. The office is there. I just lay the groundwork. That's why I'm dressed up. Man of the people. Little flair, little lettuce. Don't have a little
Where's
lettuce.
the lettuce at?
Figuratively.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah.
that's why I'm dressed this way.
Okay.
You
Jimmy,
can get your quote at ApolloHOU.com for your local insurance. What are
Jimmy,
you
what's
doing
up, man?
taking
Don't worry
photos?
about him. Jimmy, what's up,
I
man?
feel a little underdressed, honestly. I should. I had a button on earlier. I should have wore it, but no, man. I'm just hanging out, dude.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be here. It's the office is awesome. Happy to be on with you guys and. Looking
glad you're
forward
here, man.
to, looking forward to making some content.
It's long overdue. It really is, man. I love the product that you put out, all your articles, all your videos, man. It's a niche part of what we do, and I'm appreciative of it. So thank you for that,
Yeah,
and
for sure.
continue to do what you do. Obviously, you're doing well at it.
He's the godfather of it.
I know,
Astros
that's crazy.
future.
I know.
Oh gosh.
Thousands and thousands of followers. Before we dive into it,
Yeah.
let's just dive into what created Astros Future and this platform you've created and the web and ecosystem you created with every minor leaguer
Yeah.
that comes up. Everyone
Seriously,
that watches the Astros, Jimmy talked to him 5 years before he knew they even existed.
Seriously, to build on Dez's point, really, all seriousness, how did you start that, or how did you even have an idea of that? Because me personally, I would not be the one to really, quite frankly, give a shit about the Astros farm system. But what you've done, what you've built, what
ultra
you
aggressive.
No, it's being for real. It might be a little extra. No. But really, what you've done, what you've built, what the followership you have, and just literally, man, the articles that you put out are so insightful and so informative. Like, I have come to appreciate it, and I just want to know, when did you know that's what you wanted to do, or when did you even think, like, man, maybe I should cover the minor leagues for the Astros?
Man, I loved following prospects all the way back to the early 2000s. Hunter Pence coming up, but 2011, 2012 rolls around and the Astros were terrible.
So the dark days.
The dark days, and I found myself just watching box score, see what George Springer's doing, see what Carlos Correa's doing when he's drafted. So I thought, what's the best way to maybe get this content out? So I opened up a Twitter account, started putting the stat lines out, and then it just kind of just developed to where it's at now. And then I think about 6 years ago, I was like, screw it, I'm making my own website to keep track of this stuff. But yeah, I think just there's always, I'm an optimistic guy. There's always optimism with the minors. Every year you're going to find somebody who's playing well that you can maybe project to help the Astros down the line. So that's always been something that's been fun to watch. Like I said, Astros are losing 100-plus games, but the minors are stacked. That's where the fun was. Seeing the guys like Springer and Correa make their debuts and what they did for us. I mean, that's always been fun. And even right now, the Astros still got a stacked system, regardless of what the national media may say.
Who were guys that you were on before everyone else were on, and who were guys that you missed on? You were like, I thought this guy was going to be a dude, didn't turn out to be, because it happens.
Sure,
but kind of just run through.
I thought Tony Kemp was probably going to be more of a regular than I think he is. That's one. So I guess you could kind of say
but still an everyday guy in the show.
Ramon Laureano, I know he had the issue with trying to fight the Astros or whatever, but watching him in the minors, I think he was like a 10th or 12th round pick or something like that. That's a guy I was super high on after he had a real big season, and I expected big things from him. Obviously, they traded him.
So let's go back to Tony Kemp real quick.
All right.
Tony Kemp, a really good role player for the Astros. If you were following him when he was in the, let's say, Oakland A's the athletic system, would you have thought the same thing? Would you have thought, hey man, this guy's going to be an everyday player?
Yeah, I think if you look at what he was doing early in his career in the minors, he was doing, I think, easily projectable tools. He was getting on base, he was hitting for average, he was stealing bases, and he played second base, a little bit of outfield. He just seemed like a guy who was probably going to succeed at the major league level, and we've seen it, but not to the point that I thought he was going to be at. But yeah, like you said, I mean, he's still a major league player, and he's been on a major league roster for a while now, so he's defied the odds already.
And he had big moments for the Astros. I think Tony Kemp kind of fell into that whole thing where he really didn't have a lot of playing time, right? And then you take him off of that roster and you put him onto. Obviously, he went to the A's.
His best position was second base,
right?
And that was obviously taken. And they moved to the outfield.
They moved to the outfield, and people were questioning his outfield abilities. I don't know. What did you think of Tony Kemp when he was?
When I look at Tony Kemp, athlete,
right?
This a guy that can plug and play.
You can put him pretty much anywhere and let him play, right? Except for obviously first base, catcher, pitcher, whatever. Right?
Yeah, but just a guy that can go out there and give you innings, quality at bats, and
quality at bat. Hey, did you hear that, Josh? Can you book that for us? Can you? I'm serious.
So if you don't know, my co-host just actually didn't change his name back from B. Lima Apollo to B. Lima 790. But Riding the Pine, right, on your new show?
It's Riding the Pine with Brian Lima on Sports Talk 790. It's going to debut this Sunday from noon to 2.
And there's going to be a ton of quality at bat. So that was a segue, Lima, into that to give him that plug. But no, Tony Kemp was a guy that
but he really, at the end of the day, he really did give you quality at bats.
Sure, 100%.
Yeah, there's go ahead.
What were some guys that you thought were going to be dudes?
Domingo Santana, I thought he had the ability to be like a good above average right fielder with power, big arm, and he kind of flamed out, had one good season, I think, for the Brewers. It was hard. Back when the Astros had Lancaster, that is a hitter's paradise in California. So they had guys that had insane numbers. Like Andrew Applin was a center fielder out of Arizona State that got on base at a high clip, hit for a little bit of power, stole some bases. They had some, who's the catcher? But even like a guy like Garrett Stubbs, super athletic, has some versatility. A guy that I thought was probably.
Have you seen? Obviously you've probably seen this. I don't mean to cut you off.
Sure.
Go back and look at his college numbers. The dude raked. And
Stubby?
Yes.
USC, right?
Yeah, he raked. And so people give Garrett Stubbs a hard time because he's not the stereotypical big built
Right.
catcher. Like, he's not Martin Maldonado. He's not Yadier Molina. And they're like, how the hell did this kid get up here? And then you go back and look at his minor league numbers, and you look at his high school, or not, I'm sorry, his college numbers, and there's a reason why he made it to the big leagues.
For sure. No, and he's a really good athlete, and that's what allowed him to
Yeah.
play other. He can play other positions other than just catcher. And but yeah, he's a guy that had really good minor league numbers. I guess you could say I expected a little bit more. If you really want to go back, Brett Wallace,
Yeah.
John Singleton,
Dude.
at like 21 years old, had an amazing season in Double-A, hitting homers, drawing walks. Like a guy that when people can get on base like that, draw walks, and they got power, you think, okay, they're going to find a spot, because we've seen those guys have
Yeah.
success at the major league level. And Adam Dunn, all he did was hit homers and draw walks, and the guy was
Right.
successful for 10, 15 years. I thought Singleton would at least be that. Someone who could hit some homers, draw some walks, got that nice, I don't want to call it a big deal, I guess long-term deal.
Yeah.
Got called up, and then yeah, I mean.
So let's talk about Brett Wallace. Let's talk about Preston Tucker. Let's talk about
AJ Reed.
AJ Reed.
Before
that's
that,
another
that
one.
is another
And then
one.
let's talk about Mark Appel, and let's hit on those. And then I want to get your thoughts on Forrest Whitley, because
he got some good bites. Hold on,
Oh,
before
okay.
that,
All right, all right.
before we jump in the mold of those first basemen, the Adam Dunn. So a lot of people know his brother is a sergeant. Was at the time when I met him a sergeant for HPD, and my dad obviously were in the force together. And my dad told me the story. They were in the same fantasy football. I met Adam Dunn's older brother, and super nice guy, all this stuff. Well, my dad went to a party. I mean, statute of limitations is probably passed. They went
what's
to
the
this.
statute of limitations?
They went to this
About
party.
5
Listen,
years? Okay.
no,
All right.
I was a child.
Depends on the crime.
Yeah, allegedly.
And they went to this party. And Adam Dunn looks like Will Ferrell, like 100%. And they both have the same like comedic relief.
Yeah.
Well, they're at this big ass party at their ranch, and Adam Dunn comes out in a full Speedo, lathered up in KY jelly, and challenges the narcotics unit to wrestling at this party. And my dad goes, everyone is here just having a good time, and Adam Dunn, with no limitations, just did it himself. Absolutely did it himself. Just came out and was like, I want to wrestle like the baddest cops of HPD. And my dad was like, what are we doing here? So Adam Dunn knows how to party. So that was my segue back to the first baseman that we're in the same mold of Adam Dunn.
Adam Dunn, did you know where he went to high school? I know you do.
Beaumont?
Right? No,
No, that was Bruce.
that was Jay Bruce.
Yeah.
I got to watch Jay Bruce when I was in high school.
Adam
Because
Dunn's
Spring was in.
he's a Texas kid.
Yeah, New Caney.
Ooh.
New Caney, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. You want to talk about and actually, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, he ran the Marucci baseball program here in Houston. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he
But
did.
but
All right,
anyway,
back to the mold.
yeah. So go ahead.
Keep going. Go another like 10 minutes on this, but we got MLB lockout and all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
producer's
yeah.
trying to.
Yeah.
Producer Josh.
The
Hey.
suits are always trying to
man.
just hang.
Old man
hang
talking about the past.
Okay, so who is Alec22020? Want to become famous by followers and viewers?
We deleted it and banned it. It's a bot.
BigFollows.com.
Yeah, it's a bot.
Okay.
It's a bot. Have you never? Okay, never mind. Back to the mold of the.
You know, we
first
didn't
baseman.
we didn't have many bots on the Lalima Lounge. We also didn't.
Stop.
You know.
Stop.
So real quick on AJ Reed, that was the same thing. Guy had an amazing season. Good player in college, right? Really good player in college. Drafted early, amazing minor league numbers, and there was question about his bat just not being quick enough, and I think that's essentially what happened. His bat just wasn't quick enough. But man, in the minors, the guy was amazing. But real quick, I have a little connection to AJ Reed recently. So about 2 weeks ago, I played in a softball tournament, slow pitch softball tournament. We picked up John.
We're at.
It was down in Friendswood. All right, we picked up John Kimmer. I don't know if anyone remembers him. He was an
Who?
outfielder. He was an outfielder in the Astros system. John Kimmer. He played from like 2013, 2018. He capped at AAA, but really good outfielder, obviously to get to AAA. Good power and everything. So watching him in the outfield was awesome. But you know what glove he was using? AJ Reed's first baseman in left field. The guy didn't miss a thing. He was awesome. And,
A
like,
vacuum.
a first baseman in left field, cannon of an arm, like just so to put a former minor leaguer out in softball and just to watch him play is insane. I mean, like you just realize how freaking good these guys are.
How did you play?
Really good.
What position
Really
do you play?
Left center.
My man, that's
Left
where I
center.
play.
Left center.
What do you do?
Dude, I'm middle infield, bro.
Do you
Just
really
give
play
me,
middle?
dude.
So now that we're here.
What did you just question if I had the range of middle infield?
No, not
Okay.
the range. No, not at all.
Saying.
I know you were a
I'm-
corner guy.
I do not put me at third base.
Hell no.
No
Who would
way.
want to play third base? in
Not in
softball?
softball.
So,
It
no
takes
way.
a special
High
breed
corner.
to throw a guy out at third base and play well in competitive slow pitch softball.
Okay,
Because dudes hit rockets out.
So after baseball, like after college ball, I was like, I'm done. I don't want to sniff a baseball. I don't want to look at baseball. But then I was like, I miss competing, so I started playing
competition
softball. Yeah.
is what drags you into softball.
So the first
for sure.
day I played softball, I was like, yeah, I played college ball at third base.
Yeah,
I'll play third base.
Yeah. No.
And everyone was like, you sure? And I was like, fuck yeah, sure. 4 rockets
What?
at me later. I was like, never again.
You know what?
Never again.
Put
I
me
never
out in
wanna-
left field.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
good, dude. Yeah.
And in softball, you get a lot of action in left field. Left
Yeah.
center.
Oh, left center. Yeah.
A lot of
For
action.
sure.
Can't
yeah.
wait for our Apollo team.
I know. So that's what I was
For
gonna
sure.
say. So now that
For
we're
sure.
here in the new digs,
We'll
in
play in Memorial Park.
can I dox this real quick? Uptown, is that okay? Can I say Uptown?
Yeah, everyone knows where we're at.
Oh,
Josh,
okay.
Josh filmed it.
Okay, since we're here in the Uptown area, I think you and JB play in a league
do.
right down the road, right?
Yeah, we're gonna create a team, Apollo team that we just play right down the road now.
Who's our team captain? Josh.
We'll make
Okay.
Jimmy.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Do you guys want to talk about the lockout or
Yeah.
no?
I guess
Okay.
we could.
Lockout,
I mean, I guess it's
about
kind of
1,000 free agents
kinda
signings
important,
since we last
you
did
know.
the podcast.
Can we?
important.
I guess we can hit on
What's up,
these.
chat?
Yeah, what's up with the
We got
chat?
BDC, we got LMAC, we got
BDC
High,
in the building. Are we
Frozen,
gonna give?
we
Are
got
we?
Pharaoh.
Are we gonna give BDC like an Apollo weatherman gig at any point in time?
Yeah, he's
We're
our chief
tracking
Chief
meteorologist.
meteorologist,
Chief.
okay.
Chief meteorologist.
Hype man always in the building. Elmac, hey, I'm glad you're here, Elmac. Who else we got? Frozen, what's up, Frozen? I saw Pharaoh in here earlier. You got it pulled up.
I do, but I'm pulling up the free agent so we can talk about it.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's talk about the monkey in the room.
The monkey in the room.
Yeah, that's what they're saying in the streets.
Ah.
Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa, lockout, maybe bad back, maybe good back.
I read a report right before I came in here about Correa talking to Javi Baez.
It's definitely elephant in the room.
about the Cubs.
Yeah.
It's definitely elephant. I thought you were
Okay,
just
but
fucking
continue,
with
yeah.
us. Okay.
Into the elephant.
So we'll talk about the monkey in the room. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's a lockout, but let's hit on free agency real quick. Javi Baez has a team.
Hello?
Hello? Okay.
Producer.
Um,
Jeez Louise.
Are you guys surprised that Correa hasn't signed anywhere? I mean,
I'll say not really.
yeah.
Because I could see him wanting to wait and see what the guys like Seager and
Yeah.
Baez and those guys, see what kind of contracts those guys
Yeah.
got.
So when Seager's deal dropped, are you surprised that another big time contract didn't come after that for Correa? Because it's like maybe Seager's was the first domino to fall within the shortstops, and I talk about shortstop. We saw Simeon.
Simeon's was
second
the.
base.
Simeon's is going to play second base
But-
for sure.
But 7 years.
7 years. He threw it all.
outrageous.
There's no
Outrageous.
way
Yeah,
Correa
right,
should
right.
settle for anything less than 10. I mean,
Right.
a 31-year-old Simeon's getting 7 years, $175 million.
So then you
Like-
look at that and you're like, damn, okay. Then Seager's deal drops and you're like,
That made sense.
Right,
Numbers
for sure.
Numbers and
For
years
sure.
made sense for
and we
Seager.
all knew that the Rangers had plenty of money to spend, and we knew that they were going to be big spenders. But to get both of those guys, I was like, God
Oh, it's
damn.
insane.
I mean, what they
Insane.
spend $500 million
Yeah.
in like 3 hours, 4 hours, or whatever it was?
Yes. So the thing was the market is dumb, still dumb, was dumb. It reminded me of like the whole Dogecoin type, like just like people were just like filing in and money was going out. Simeon getting 7 at 32. He's 32, 33 years old.
31.
31.
Yeah.
31.
But yeah. He'll be 32 next year. Yeah.
Outrageous.
Right.
The Seager deal I saw and I was like, makes sense. That lines up. Rangers double dipping on that was they got to put asses in the seats and,
Yeah.
and do that. But they're them taking the Angels model of just like let's pay every bat but not worry about pitching. Dumb. The biggest indicator of what's happened is the Mariners going to get Ray, shoring up positions, making moves that were like, oh, that's kind of Astros-esque in a way, where I was just like,
Yeah.
so are they the new Oakland A's?
Okay, so
Because Oakland's fire selling, right?
Oakland's
Everyone's-
done. Oakland's
everyone's-
out of there.
yeah.
As soon as they lost Bob Melvin, I knew that they were going to get.
Because after the
rid of
lockout,
everybody.
all the assets are gone. It's
Right.
a fire sale. So Oakland's done. Seattle's our new Oakland, where they're going to be on our heels.
Okay, so on one of the first episodes of Beyond the Diamond podcast here on the Apollo Podcast Network, you and I talked about who the sleepers were going to be, and you talked about the
I'm a
Mariners.
big Seattle guy.
And look where the Mariners ended up. They were right there. So you take Oakland out of the equation, and look, I know I know that the Rangers went out and spent a lot of money. They got Seager, they got Simeon, John Gray, but they still don't have a lot of pitching. I know they've got young prospects. I know they've got a good farm system. You can attest to that as well. But man, Seattle doing what they did, like Seattle's going to be right there. Seattle's going to be there right there again. And they're going to be that pesky team like Oakland. So the West isn't going to be a joke.
No, it feels like the West has made a ton of
Elevated.
They made
the
a
Angels,
massive
the
amount of
Mariners, the
moves. Yeah.
Rangers. You know, there's been obviously not the Athletics; they'll be on the bottom, probably.
Right.
But
If the
other than
Angels,
that, the West is going to be very competitive.
if the
I still
Angels
think
can
that's the
stay
best.
healthy, they'll have one of the best
For sure.
lineups.
Yes.
So the thing that I think of, all right, so you win the division by 8 this year, right?
Mhm.
Those 8 games spread out through a year are scattered.
Right.
Whether you get hot one month, you get cold one month, it all water finds its level.
Yeah.
But with the division elevating, it's that margin gets really tight
It's going
because
to get really tight.
we know the Angels they spend all this money on their bats, the pitching falls to the wayside, but those first few months when they're healthy, that's a problem because
Yeah.
that margin's tighter.
Yep.
The Rangers, same mold. Very early on, if they're healthy, those are going to be competitive series. And then you're going to have Seattle built for the entire stuff.
Yeah.
So you're looking at a race that goes down into September and the end of October, I think, next year.
Yeah.
I mean, the
It's-
Astros are clear the better team,
Right.
but the margins are tighter throughout the division.
And it's going to be really interesting to see, and that's where I bring back, obviously, the lockout. It's going to be interesting to see, are we going to have just 2 divisions in
That
the
is
AL and in
100%.
the NL? Like, what's that going to look like? What's the landscape going to look like? And then, I mean, man, at the end of the day, it's like, are these teams, are these, not teams, are these 2 sides going to come to an agreement? I mean, what we've seen so far is, and we knew this coming. We all knew. If you followed the Major League Baseball for as long as that we've done, you knew this was coming, right? Like you knew that Rob Manfred. At the end of the day, Rob Manfred is the problem. I don't give a shit if the players want X, Y, and Z. Rob Manfred is the problem. You look at the 2 different baseballs.
Dude.
You look at all the COVID protocols that he was trying to put in. I mean, I could go on and on and on about how many fuck ups this dude has had. It all goes back to, don't even get me started on the entire fake outrage about the Astros cheating. He could have came down and nipped that in the bud real quick. Then you go back into the Red Sox and their Apple Watches. You go back to the Yankees and the letter that still hasn't been unsealed. Everything goes right back to Manfred. But at the end of the day, there is a lockout. There's a work stoppage. Are we going to see the 2 sides come to an agreement? Because from what we've heard and what we've read, we're not going to see any kind of negotiations until February.
Yeah.
Is that accurate to say?
I don't think we see any movement till Super Bowl.
So February.
Yes.
Last week of January, early February, right? Yeah.
Real quick on the 2 different balls thing. So, you know, the MLB wanted to make a huge deal of the Astros cheating thing, right? Stealing signs, whatever.
Allegedly. Allegedly did that.
2 different balls.
Yeah.
That they would put the higher, you know, play ball in primetime games and stuff, and they want to talk about the Astros ruining careers.
Yeah. You want to talk about
That-
integrity.
ruining
That is
I mean,
literally
that's
market
bad.
manipulation.
That
It's
is
really
that's
bad.
100% market
And
manipulation.
I mean, imagine if you know that we're putting hot balls in this game. Yeah, bet the over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And the thing is, the letter that is not being, it's DraftKings suing Major League Baseball. This is more ammo for them.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
if I have a legal betting site where money is coming in and out,
And
Yeah.
and there is
you're
someone
doctoring games.
manipulating the game,
Imagine the money they've lost on games that were manipulated by Major League Baseball without anyone's knowledge.
I think Bob Manfred should cut me a check for maybe $1 million for how much I've lost. Like,
I mean,
he can't prove that I lost $1 million, but I think I bet over $1 million where he messed with the ball.
2019, Justin Verlander talked about it.
He did.
So
And then Pete Alonso talked about it this past
Pete
summer.
Alonso brought it up this past summer, and people ripped him for it. He tried to shed light on it, and I remember being in the clubhouse when Verlander gave up a cheap home run in the World Series, and I remember asking him, what's the most, it was something along the lines of like, you make a good pitch and a guy just gets out in front, keeps the hands back, and he flips one into the outfield. And I know that he wanted to say something about the baseball, but he didn't. Because he had already talked about it earlier in the year and no one talked to him about it.
And you know what? The crappy thing about all this is the union probably chirped him and was like, hey, you can't talk about it because this. And then the union didn't even protect the Astros when everyone else was doing something.
Exactly.
It was like, okay,
it's
been such a pick and choose.
It's you pick and choose, absolutely.
But Manfred manipulating the game and having one guy in one central piece, changing outcomes of game where now money is being moved legally.
Right.
It's not some offshore bookie you have to worry about or some neighborhood guy you're placing a bet. It's a legal thing where tons and tons of money are moving and is being manipulated with no one knowing until a whistleblower stepped up and said something.
Right.
And what happens? A lockout.
Yep.
Yeah.
It all just falls to the wayside.
And then
once again.
And to hit on one last time to talk about the baseballs, you've got alleged stealing signs. Dude, when it comes to the game of baseball, you're trying to find a competitive advantage, right?
100%.
So I don't give a shit if you're doctoring baseballs. I don't give a shit if you're using spider tack, using rosin, using sunscreen, looking for signs, stealing signs. It's all been there. And the entire league is doing it. So it goes back to the whole fake outrage about the Astros being the only team that was electronically stealing signs and all that. Like,
they were just the best at it.
Exactly.
And that's it, and if they went 60 and 102 that season, no one would have cared.
Right.
Or we beat the Twins. We beat the Diamondbacks in the World Series. No one bats an eye.
No one gives a shit.
Beating the Red Sox was beating the Yankees, beating the Dodgers.
And you know what's even funnier is when you and I interviewed Josh Reddick and he was hanging out with us on Beyond the Diamond. He said there was one person in the clubhouse that didn't want Justin Verlander to come to the Astros.
I won't ever speak his name.
I will never speak his name either. I wonder who that one person is.
I wonder who that was.
Huh. I wonder.
Does it rhyme with rat?
It could.
Okay.
It could.
Before we shift back to the shortstop, no, the crazy thing about it all is just the fact that people can let these higher powers manipulate games or whatever it is. But what I'm saying is the Astros got fucked over in a 2019 World Series and a 2021 World Series. And now I'm questioning if the NL East is in bed with Bobby Manfred. Because all this, juice balls, non-juice balls, happened to be when the Astros were in the World Series. And who do we lose to? The NL East. And I'm not hearing anything from the NL East. So, NL East, this is to you. We'll clip this. You either come out and revoke your championships and give it to the Astros, the rightful champions, or you're saying you're in bed with Bob Manfred. That's a very plausible thing. The streets are saying it. I'm not saying it. The streets are saying it. So we're 3-time world champions. Anyways, back to the shortstops. Javi Baez was the wild card.
Mm-hmm.
6 years to Detroit. What is happening?
I didn't see that coming. I really didn't. Like,
what was the year? It was like 23 a year, right? 23 million a year.
I think it was 23 for 175.
I thought it was 25.
Pulling it up.
Love doing things live on air.
Pulling it up.
But I guess I thought it was like 23 and a half a year. But when it came down, I was like, man, it's
6
really...
for 140.
Yeah.
I'm not a math guy.
Yeah, I don't know the math on that, but when it came down,
23.
When it came down, I was like, 23 million is really not bad for Baez. But we also know he can play second base, right? And the Tigers probably still have money to spend. Y'all think Carlos ends up there or what?
No.
Look,
I've got an optimistic hope that he's going to come back to the Astros.
Stop. You're living in a fairy tale world. It may happen, though.
It's a fugazi.
So we've all seen the photos, right? AJ Hinch and Carlos.
They're having brunch. Baby gifts.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
They had omelets, breakfast went into lunch, little mimosas, whatever it is. Do you think AJ was being the father figure to Carlos and be like, hey, you're not going to get what you think you're going to get in this open market. You come here, we're going to butter it and soft it all up. But doing all that probably turns off Carlos.
Yeah.
Was he the Astros good guy and the or the bad guy and the good cop, bad cop? Because AJ, I feel like, blew up this imagination of Carlos getting 10 for 350 or whatever it is. Was AJ actually gonna, if Carlos comes back to the Astros in some manner, in a more real world scenario, I think AJ was the guy that blew up the figmentation of Carlos thinking he can get 10 for 350 on a contender. The Marlins could swoop in, the Cubs could swoop in, some guy that needs to put asses in seats and could give it to him.
Right.
But if you want to win championships in October, a lot of teams aren't doing that right now.
You talk about the Cubs. Marcus Stroman just signed with the Cubs. They really, they don't have much. So Marcus Stroman is trying to recruit Carlos Correa to the Cubs. Obviously, I've said the Marlins are a team to watch. They have the Derek Jeter factor, but then you have, but then you got Carlos Correa talking about Derek Jeter should have won Gold Gloves. Who knows if he actually really said that or whatever. They've got plenty of money. They live in Miami. They're in Florida, no state tax. So to go back to your first question about was AJ Hinch being that dad type of factor, or dad presence and being here in Houston. Obviously, AJ Hinch still lives here in Houston. Them meeting together. I think we all knew that at some point he was going to get some type of, I wouldn't say offer, but he was going to talk with the Tigers. They've got a good young core. They have one of the best managers in all of baseball. He should have never been let go. It's neither here nor there. I think we all knew that was coming. AJ and Carlos have always been tight. So do I think he was being the father figure saying, hey, you might not get this? I do. I really do. I do. I do think that he was there. Do I think they were in Houston talking about, hey,
baby gifts?
I didn't want to ship it, so I want to hand it.
I'm going to hand it to you.
Yeah.
I think
eating over a little eggs Benedict and an omelet.
Chat,
I'm so sorry. Our producers left us, and they are literally on hovercrafts outside of the
room.
What
are they
Look
doing?
At this. You can see them on the outside. Look, what are we doing? Look, now they're gonna act like they're doing work.
Producer Josh,
you're listening. That's working. Oh,
hey,
wow, you're doing your job.
Can I get another Taco Tuesday? And then
can I get a score update on the Cowboy game?
Or take a tug if you'd like. Go ahead, take a tug.
That's not.
What? It's from That's My Boy. Are we slacking on the chat?
I never saw. No, we're 24 million strong.
Do want to ask?
Okay.
Y'all saw Mark Berman's tweet about the teams that have contacted.
Was he at the airport?
Probably.
Okay.
I
think it's legit.
Personal Uber to the airport.
Okay, so I saw Berm. I saw Berm today, full suit.
Berm dog.
Was
it black and white?
Nah.
No.
Navy.
No. The dude legit runs. Like he runs to go get people.
I witnessed it today.
Insane.
He hustles more than anyone in the entire world.
He works hard.
But he was
look, dude.
He was
good,
rocking.
too.
You don't make it in the.
He doesn't miss.
You don't
miss.
You don't make it on the Astros Media Hall of Fame wall
without the hustle.
by slacking.
Without the hustle.
Look, dude. Sometimes you got to spend the night at Bush Intercontinental Airport in Terminal C.
You're getting ugly. Anyways, back to
being
Berman's
serious.
tweet.
He talked about the teams that talked to Correa's agent: Red Sox, Dodgers, Yankees, Cubs, and Braves.
Yep.
So, what do y'all think about that? I mean, obviously the Red Sox, everyone talks about, and I heard Sean talk about it. They talk about Hinch.
Oh, Sean talked about it?
Sean who?
Pendergast this morning.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
I
it's
thought
Sean.
Take it after you?
No, because myself and
another Sean and
Salisbury.
another B Lima 790.
Sean Salisbury. I filled in on
it
on the Sean Salisbury show on Sports Talk 790, and him and I both talked about it. And Des was tweeting us saying, "You guys stole my idea. That's stolen valor."
I was such a troll.
But we did. So we talked about it in our group chat about.
I talked about
the Red Sox.
The Cora connection.
It's the Cora connection.
Everyone wants to talk about Hinch and Correa, but Correa and Cora. We saw the playoffs.
Yeah,
we saw the playoffs after Eduardo Rodriguez did the watch thing.
I brought that up on the show.
Defended Correa.
Who defended? Yeah, exactly. Who did he defend more? His own pitcher or Carlos Correa? It was Correa. Yeah. So
that's an interesting position.
So how about this? If you're a general manager, there is a timeline where you move Devers, who's young, from third to first. You put Correa at short, and you move Xander, who is about to be
1 year left. I think
1 year left. He has an opt out. You move to third or second base. You have the best infield offensively in the game. There is a real possibility that could happen. I don't know if they have the money and the flexibility because they need pitching,
Yeah.
because Erod just left, and I mean obviously they got Paxton and they got
Uvalde.
they just got someone else for like a 1-year deal.
Wait, are you talking about the Red Sox?
The Red Sox they got Paxton, they got someone else just recently.
I'm just talking about their.
But no, I'm saying they need pitching, so money has to be an issue there. But
Do you have a thing for the bricks?
oh, I'm bricked up, dude. I'm a big fan of this brick. But that is a big thing that I don't think a lot of people are talking about because the Correa connection with Cora,
Yeah, for sure.
I think is greater than AJ Hinch.
They signed Rich Hill.
Oh yeah, Dick Mountain.
Rich Hill.
Is Rich Hill even that good anymore?
He'll give you innings.
Who's better?
Odorizzi or Rich Hill? Jake Odorizzi.
Is that who we're comparing him to?
Dude, how old is Rich Hill?
That is.
He's gotta be like 40.
That was kind of a
right?
slap.
Yeah.
That's got to be a slap in Odorizzi. Sorry,
Oh.
Jake. Sorry.
Paxton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we-
Paxton Hill. Yeah.
Man, I wish you would just buy in, dude.
And they
Because
got
we
JBJ back.
yeah we
Yeah,
said
the JBJ was weird. Okay,
Yes,
so
that was
back
Weird
to
trade,
it.
Yeah,
The tweet from Bourbon. The Braves caught me off guard.
for sure.
Them reaching out because Freddie Freeman's available for, I know from people, 165 is the number he will sign back for the Braves. And they're like hesitant on that.
Why
He's
would you
been their
not
dude.
sign him then?
He's
for
been their
that?
dude.
I don't understand that.
7 for 165.
That's
is
like the
still-
face of your franchise. Why would you not bring him back?
So the
Sounds
Correa
familiar.
thing was weird
Sounds
to me.
familiar.
Yeah, you're right. True. Very
That
true.
is
Very
true.
true.
But all the other teams, what there was.
It was Yankees, Dodgers, Red Sox, Braves, and Cubs.
I
So the
think
Cubs was a little interesting too, but they're not ready to win. I mean, I know they
No.
signed Marcus Stroman, but
Of all those teams, I think the Cubs would be the only one that would give 10 years and the 325.
I think Dansby
plus.
Swanson has a year left before he's a free agent. So I don't know if they'd be looking at, getting a long-term shortstop instead of keeping him around. But
I think the Yankees and the Dodgers are the most furthest away from getting him.
for sure,
For getting Correa. I think I don't think Carlos, to be honest with you, I don't give a shit. I don't think he gives a shit where he goes as long as the money's right.
I know people always talk about the state income tax, but did y'all see the tweet about Seager? What he would have had to sign for in LA
in
to
LA
get the same?
compared
It was
to-
like $72 million more
Yeah.
to get the take home money.
Well, go back and let's just go to the NBA real quick. I'm gonna pull up. I think James Harden was gonna have to pay like $15 million in taxes
So what I want to
for
know.
playing in New York for Brooklyn.
So there are more brilliant minds that are on Twitter, that work for R&D, that work in the sphere of understanding analytics. I know you're not a big analyst guy. You're a big batting average, quality of bat guy.
Yeah,
It's all right, dude. I
All
get
right.
it.
The gut.
Yeah, he's a real gut feel like
yeah, momentum.
you're a big momentum guy.
I love.
Anyways, the realist that we talk about, I want to know what the real market of like if you were to put Carlos Correa in an Excel sheet, what is the if you take the name out,
Right.
and you just put the raw data out there, what it would equate to. That's what like the biggest gap in my mind that I cannot figure out. Because I know you can replace 275 and 25 home runs pretty easy in this market.
Mhm.
You can moneyball that, you can equate that. Obviously the intangibles of being a clubhouse guy, the villain, the defensive side with his arm and glove is second to none. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Arguably
Simmons-
the best,
Platinum glove.
the best defense. Yeah, in the
and,
NL.
and Simmons could be a guy that you could plug in if you did a stopgap. But I
Arguably
would
the
just
best
love to see
defensive-
the Excel sheet of what the real raw data says because I don't know how to interpret that. But I feel like men lie, women lie, numbers
don't lie. Okay, so then so what are the stats? What are and again, I'm not a big stat guy, but so what are the more advanced stats that people look at?
War?
For offense, defense,
Both.
I mean,
Let's just talk both.
WAR,
right?
OPS
That's
plus, or
wins
weighted-
above replacement, right? Okay, and then what is it?
weighted runs created plus, OPS
Okay.
plus, which kind of 100 is average. Anything above is above average. But that's Seager's got good offensive numbers.
Yeah.
He hadn't been healthy, but that's kind of been part of the issue with Correa too, right? So like,
And the
I guess
turnoff.
in terms of if you put Seager and Correa in that Excel spreadsheet you're talking about,
Yeah.
and took the names out, where are they at?
Correa's ahead of him slightly.
For sure, but
So-
I mean, you got to project that out, right? It's
Yeah.
an asset that you project out. I don't know how to formulate that, but there's brilliant minds that
Yeah,
don't even
So I think that's it. Look, I know y'all give me a hard time about analytics and stats and stuff like that. And yes, I love momentum. I love quality at bats, all that
And
stuff.
batting average. You're a big batting average.
I'm not a
guy.
big batting average guy. I'd rather you just give me quality at bat and we'll call it a day. Now I'm going to take my coaching hat off because my 12U Banditos black. We went 17-6 in the fall, but it's okay. That's neither here nor there. There are a lot of brilliant minds that take these statistics and they put them to good use. So I think for myself, I would love to understand that more. So I guess that's why I'm asking what stat and what statistic would you look at, when it comes to putting Seager and putting Correa and Javi Baez and, I mean, you can go on and on and on. We'll take the five best shortstops in all of Major League Baseball, take their names away, throw their statistics on a spreadsheet. What are we looking at?
Defensive run saves, WAR,
OPS
weighted
plus.
runs created plus, OPS plus.
Yeah.
And then,
Batting
and then
average.
per 162, you got to look at the per 162.
Yeah.
But then
So
health
when-
matters too, and you got to be healthy. I mean,
Yeah, so you took the words right out of my mouth. So let's not forget about it. You got to be healthy.
Let me give you Correa and Seager.
Producer Josh coming in hot with the
So Correa
uh-huh.
is 27 years old and 71 days. He has played, he has had 2,824 at-bats in his career.
Is it like 36?
He has a 34.1 WAR and 127 OPS plus. Seager is 27 years old and 219 days, so he's older. He's only had 21.3 WAR in his career, 2,419 at-bats. He has a 131 OPS plus. So they're very close. Projecting forward,
Offensively.
Seager's,
So Seager is ahead.
projecting forward, he might be.
Okay.
Correa's had a better,
As of-
storied career.
As of right now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But in the shorter term, Seager's peripheral stats are better.
So I think going with that.
Offensive.
What was his OPS plus, Seager?
131.
And I think it's Correa's the better defensive shortstop.
Yeah.
Right there. But yeah, Seager's had some really good offensive numbers.
I
And kind of
just-
flown under the radar a little
He
bit.
does
I think,
fly under the radar.
Maybe
He
it's
really
because
does.
he doesn't open his mouth like Cody Bellinger, but yeah, he
Cody Bellinger's like,
what did he hit like 160 this year?
Did you guys see that?
he hit like I think it was less than that, and then he goes into the playoffs and he actually hits.
He actually
like
did pretty good, yeah.
He hits it pretty well, but then he's like in the dugout and he's like, "Whoa, dude, we're playing the Braves? What do we say on the?"
Did anyone see the TikTok where it was a guy mimicking Cody Bellinger and Seager, and he was like, there was a guy like in the green screen locker room, and he like turned around and it was like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing?" And the guy was like, "Oh, I just signed with the Rangers," and then like went back to Cody Bellinger. He was like, "Man, that's wild. You're leaving baseball, but good luck being a Texas Ranger and riding horses." And then he went back to Seager, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna miss this." It was freaking hilarious. I'll find the TikTok, but
See, JB in the chat gets it. Brian's favorite stat is X Bofa.
oh, I'm not gonna fall that trap. Yeah.
Jimmy, you know what Bofa's?
No.
No, okay. You full of shit.
He was gonna say both of these nuts.
Come on, dude.
Just let him hit it.
Let him hit it, dude.
Dude, you knew what it was.
Yes,
Yeah,
he
you
teed
knew
me
what it
up.
was. Dude, you waited.
Unbelievable,
Anyways.
dude.
What's the X part? Actually, you
Exit
do talk about
velocity.
X. The expected stats are really, really good to look at too. Those are the ones that were showing Kyle Tucker was having an awesome season despite hitting 170 in April.
Yeah.
His expected numbers were like 340 with a 600 slugging, and they finally got to where they should be because he finally started getting some luck. The
So-
ball started falling.
So let's talk Kyle Tucker real quick. When you were watching him come up through the system, what did you think of Kyle Tucker? Because, and this is why I ask, I was fully on the side of trade that
I hope
motherfucker
y'all
as
bring this up
soon.
when we interview him.
I will. I'll be a man and I'll say, look, Kyle, I wanted them to trade your ass. I wanted them to go get.
Don't say
You
that.
wanted Jose
I will.
Quintana.
No, I wanted JT Real Muto at the time.
Who?
I did. JT Real Muto.
Okay.
I wanted him because they had fuck man, who was the catcher back in Shit, I don't even remember. Who was it? 2018. Who was the catcher in 2018?
People forget Baldy forgot how to catch in the playoffs.
Well,
Remember
he
that?
had just-
Remember
yeah,
when he
he
had all
was-
those pass balls?
Clank off
Yeah,
of
remember?
McCullers.
Yeah,
Clank.
remember that?
Clank. Oh yeah, I do
Yeah.
remember. Yeah, I remember.
mean, he's our guy
So
now.
who
but
was
people
the
forget
who was the
that.
catcher in 2018?
It would have been. It would have been. It would have been
Max
19.
Stassi
It would have
was in
been
there?
19. And
No,
it,
it was
Chirinos.
no, it was 2018.
Maldi. Had to be Maldi.
No,
It had to
Maldi
be
came in the
Gaddis.
second half of the season because he got traded.
Producer
Josh, can you look
is on
up who the catcher was 2018 for the Astros?
Someone's probably going to answer for us. Let's see.
it. Yeah.
Why
See
are
if
we-
Chad knows who the catcher was.
Stassi was in there a little bit.
Eric
Yes.
Kratz.
McCann.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, but I mean, how many games did he actually catch though? I don't
Yeah,
think
I
he
mean,
caught
it
a
was-
Who else was on the roster?
It was
JJ said
Gaddis,
McCann.
Was it Brian McCann?
Stassi.
Oh,
Gaddis,
McCann was still around in
Stassi.
18.
People forget
There you go.
Stassi this year, and all of a sudden was
Yeah.
a dude.
Oh, look at
For
Super
Norwich,
Jack,
got
Jack
like
Mayfield
double.
for the Angels, but 18 was okay. So it was Brian McCann.
It was a platoon.
It was a
Stassi
platoon,
and
yeah.
Little
Gaddis
platoon
in an
action.
emergency, I guess.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
Chirinos in 19.
yeah. So that's what it was because I was on the side of we need an offensive catcher. JT Realmuto rakes every single year. So I wanted Kyle Tucker traded because the two names that were untradeable were Kyle Tucker and Forrest Whitley. And I remember seeing,
Speaking
I was in the dugout when Kyle Tucker came up,
Sorry, Matt, of course.
and he looked like a deer in the headlights. Like
Yeah, but he's also like 21.
I know. I'm reflecting.
Do you remember
back.
what you were doing at 21 years old?
You don't want to know what I was doing.
Yeah,
at 21.
exactly.
I was walking on
And-
a college field like, and I wasn't even play. I was
And
playing.
Tucker
fucking-
was in the show.
I was playing
and
small
all
time
the hype
Division
in
III
the
baseball.
world.
I understand that, so that's why
Yeah.
that goes back into what I'm about to ask Jimmy is because the unfair comparison was they were calling him Ted. He had a phenomenal spring training, and they were calling he had
Well,
like
he never called himself Ted. That was the problem.
I know. So that's all I'm saying is he had the unfair criticism. And I'm being a man and saying I unfairly criticized him. So when you're watching him from your standpoint, what did you fucking rakes? He'll be here for 3, 4, 5 years.
We are so back.
Josh, producer Josh,
On it.
told Dez and I that he would rather take Kyle Tucker over Christian Yelich.
I would.
So I mean, there was
1,000%.
So-
when Yelich was traded to the
That's
the Brewers,
so
a lot of
that's-
people wanted to trade Tucker.
that's what
but-
we
Before
talk-
Tucker had his crazy.
Yeah.
So that's what we
and
talked
Jeff,
about. We-
Jeff was on his mountain. Like, I am
Right.
not moving.
Well, because it felt like, man, the hope is if Kyle Tucker could be Christian Yelich, you know,
Yeah.
like, well, you could also get Christian Yelich. But I'm a big believer in holding on to the top prospects because of what we're seeing right now. With Springer left, the Astros still won 95 games and went to the World Series. If for some reason,
Can you say that again for me?
Yeah, 95 games went to the World Series
Oh,
after George
Okay.
Springer.
after George Springer.
After George Springer.
Bricked up.
If Carlos Correa isn't around, I still think the Astros have enough top prospects and enough young talent to continue to lead the AL West and make it to the World Series. If we didn't have Kyle Tucker and JT Realmuto was a free agent right now or a year
We're back.
Yeah, get rid of it. The cable head in there charging it wasn't actually charging it for some reason, though it said it was.
I mean,
So we'll end with Kyle Tiger.
The batteries.
you literally have one job.
So we're on Kyle Tucker, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in holding on to the top guys because having that steady flow of talent, unless you're gonna be the Yankees who are gonna sign these top
Right.
free agents or the
Which
Dodgers.
we know the Astros probably will never be
Having
there.
that steady flow of talent is huge, and having Kyle Tucker and Yordan Alvarez, seeing what they could do as young guys for us right now, having Alex Bregman come up when he did. Not that there was any rumors to trade him, but I understand where people come from in terms of wanting to use those prospects to get another major league player, but guys like Tucker. I mean, we saw Bregman struggled a lot when he first came up, and the same thing happened with Tucker. And some guys just need more at bats. I mean, I trust the shit out of the Astros scouting team. Like if they think a guy's going to be good, I completely trust them that he's going to be good. And people overreacted to some bad at bats by Kyle Tucker, and really it wasn't like. I don't even know if he looked overmatched. He just wasn't getting hits, but he finally broke out, obviously, in 2020, and then last year was phenomenal after that bad April. Like, if you projected his stats from what he did from May on, he's probably going to be in the MVP conversation next year.
Yeah,
if he keeps that up.
we said it. We said it multiple times.
I mean,
literally was on a podcast
He
the
did
other
like
day.
330 from May
every
on.
time
It's
we
insane.
talked about Kyle Tucker on
Yeah.
our Beyond the Diamond podcast, we always said future MVP,
Yep.
Kyle Tucker, or he's going to be in the conversation.
Do you think the last name hurt him with Preston's not? I mean, Preston wasn't a top prospect
Right,
like
right.
Kyle was, but
Did
it
people
was like,
overreact to,
is it the
oh, well,
sins
Preston
of the
was no
old,
good,
the
so-
sins of the older brother affected the?
So is our audio still good though?
Audio's good. Okay, we're live.
And Low Bros. Are we?
Our system's faltering. We're gonna have to wrap it up. Blame Major League Baseball. They're trying to.
Any second.
I don't know what's happening. Bob Manfred's attacking us. We'll see you guys on Monday. Maybe Kyle Tiger's coming on the podcast. Spoiler alert.
We have some big
Or Tuesday.
things. We have
Tuesday. He's
we-
not coming Monday. He's coming Tuesday.
We have really big things coming for Beyond the Diamond podcast. We've got big guests coming. I don't want to say who it's going to be. It could be
I
Kyle
literally
Tucker.
just said Kyle Tiger.
Let me do my spiel.
All right, but we're gonna have Jimmy.
Yeah, Jim,
back.
so shout who?
Bob's walking the door. Hurry up.
Oh my god.
Oh my God.
So
Bob
shout out
Manfred's here.
to Astros Future. Follow us on Twitter at BLima790, at ApolloDez1, at Astros Future, and of course at Apollo HOU. Shout out to Jimmy and his pipes. Apollo Dez dressing like an accountant.
Yes, Mr. Bob.
Thank you everybody in the chat. I don't know what's going on. Bob Manfred's probably gonna take us out
Sabotage.
because we're not about it.
Saboteur.
So oh my god, peace!